Fear and I have had a relationship for a very long time. And as long ago as I can remember, I remember being scared at camp one day and my dad coming up to the camp, getting off work because I was so afraid, getting off work and coming up to the camp and saying, God hath not given you the spirit of fear, because these girls was about to fight me. And he threw a Bible verse at me. Welcome back to another moment with joy. I am full of gratitude to be here with you, to be alive, and to get to share space with you again. Today, I want to talk about changing how we view fear. I know. Changing how we view fear. We all, feel fear differently. We all experience fear differently, and it shows up in people's lives differently, definitely. And today, I just want to talk about ways to overcome that, because I have a secret weapon to overcoming fear that I use personally. Now, I'm not a doctor, none of that, but it's something that definitely helped me overcome fear, because fear and I have had a relationship for a very long time. And as long ago as I can remember, I remember being scared at camp one day and my dad coming up to the camp, getting off work because I was so afraid, getting off work and coming up to the camp and saying, God hath not given you the spirit of fear, because these girls was about to fight me. And he threw a Bible verse at me. And from that point on, I knew that I could overcome fear. I just had a hard time dealing with it when it showed up. And I could always remember my dad's voice. I can always hear it when I get afraid. God did not give you the spirit of fear. And it has helped me. It has helped me because it keeps my mind where it needs to be. Because when I say God didn't give me the spirit of fear, God gives great things. And he gives good thoughts and love and sound mind. You know what I mean? So that is what kept me centered as a child. As I grew older, me and fear, of course, it never went anywhere. It didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, God, you didn't give it. But Jesus is not moving. And a lot of times the fear would stop me from achieving big goals that I had. And I mean dreams, big stages that I wanted to sing on, big rooms that I wanted to enter. Fear would literally stop me in my tracks and I wouldn't go. I wouldn't do the job that I was capable and well prepared for and well equipped for. Fear would stop me from doing it. And I know there's a lot of you today. I know a lot of you have those dreams, those goals, and fear is literally stopping you in your tracks. And today I'm going to I'll tell you a way in a minute how we can overcome that. Fear and anxiety are real. They're real emotions, and I've allowed those emotions to stop me plenty of times. And I've suffered from panic attacks for years, y'all. Like, I can remember going in a grocery store and literally just passing out, waking up like, what happened? Going to the nail shop, passing out, waking up like, what happened? I would just have panic attack after panic attack. And I got to a point, maybe I suffered about 2 years with those. And I mean, I would pass out and have seizures anywhere. How embarrassing is that? And I would start getting anxiety attacks about the anxiety attacks. And I'm just like, God, I want to be free from this. I don't want to walk. I want to be able to walk in a room and not my chest start pounding and my head start spinning. I don't want to feel that way. And fear was doing that to me. And at the time, you couldn't tell me it was fear. I was like, I'm not scared of nothing. I'm bold. I'm confident. I went to neurologists. I went to all types of doctors to find help. Of course, they wanted to put me on prescriptions, but I chose not to, for depression and anxiety and all those things. And I just chose not to. And y'all, I ended up at a clinic, a Walgreens urgent care, because I had had a panic attack getting off the exit. And I remember the Walgreens being right off the exit, and I just stopped there and I was like, I'm about to pass out and I don't want to do it driving. So pulled up in Walgreens, and this is where I learned my secret weapon. The lady in the doctor's office, I went in, I said, I've had test after test. They've checked me over and over again. And they say nothing's wrong with me, but I keep passing out and I keep having seizures and I don't know what to do. She turns off the light in the room and she says, close your eyes and lay down. And I closed my eyes and I laid down and I'm like, what is this gonna do? And she literally told me to focus on what brings me peace. And I'm like, in that moment, okay, I'm gonna focus on what brings me peace. And she said, just breathe. And I'm like, breathing. And the anxiety definitely started to go down. So I said, it's working now because she in the room with me. It's working now because she's here. And I trust her because she a doctor, so eventually I had to put my work into practice. Like, okay, I gotta do this. Let me try it. And I knew at the time, because my anxiety attacks were so consistent at this point, I'm like, I know I'm gonna have one soon. So when the next anxiety attack arose, I really had to sit with it. And I was like, I'm not gonna allow this to break me again. And I heard her voice. I heard my dad's voice. And I'm like, I can overcome this feeling. Okay. And I was ready to overcome this feeling because I did not want it to control my life any longer. So I began to think of the place and the moments that brought me peace, the moment that my anxiety attack started to occur. And in the moment, the doctor told me, wherever I am, sit down, lay down if you have to, no matter where you are. And I did that. I laid down and I started to think of a peaceful place. I'm not going to tell y'all where I was because it's slightly embarrassing, but I did it. And I began to not pass out. And that turned into a year of no anxiety attacks after that moment. And now to this day, I still haven't had an anxiety attack of that nature because of the thoughts, and the mindset had to change. My thoughts had to change and my mindset had to change. And I started sitting with the fact that fear may not go away. The feeling may not disappear. How will I live with it? How will I push past it? How can I still achieve my goals with this feeling in my stomach and in my chest? My son was feeling scared about a spelling bee. We had to practice these words. And I looked at fear differently again once he was alive. Because fear still hasn't went anywhere. It still shows up. I just know how to deal with it when it shows up now. Paul and I were working on some spelling words, and I have him study his words, and he knows them. So it's time for him to recite his words back to me. And I make him stand in front of me, and I say the words out loud, and he spells them. So we're getting through the list, and he's doing it with no effort. He's going through the list like this, and I'm excited. I'm like, oh, look at him. And we get to a word that is very hard to spell for him, challenging for him. And he gets so flustered and frustrated. And I notice that he starts to get mad. So I'm like, hey, what are you feeling? What is the feeling that's overcoming you? And he says, well, I'm scared if I say what I think it is and I'm going to get it wrong. And I'm like, okay, so that's fear. He wants to get it right, which is great. He studied, which is great. And I know as his mom, he's prepared to say this word. And I know for a fact he knows how to spell it. He's just afraid to get it wrong. So he's afraid to say the letters that are in his head, which are right. I know, because moms, we know. And I tell him that feeling of fear is your superpower activating. It's not something telling you to stop, don't go there. In this moment, because we're not talking about a fear of dogs, a fear of snakes. We're talking about the fear to achieve something that you know you can do. And you know that you've worked hard for it. You know you studied. And this boy says, okay, it's my superpower turning on. And I say, so let's spell the word with this mindset. And he ends up spelling the word perfectly. Okay? And that showed me, I learned a lesson. Once we overcome the feeling of fear, we rebrand that mug into a superpower. And so we say, instead of I'm fearful of this, my superpower is activating in an area that I'm not used to it being activated in. My superpower is being activated before I go up on this stage and give a word to people who need it. My superpower is being activated when I look over a cliff of a waterfall that I really want to jump into this water. It's beautiful. I've never been to Costa Rica. I've never been by a waterfall, and I just want to jump in and dive in. You look over that cliff, everybody down there, girl, jump, jump, jump. And that feeling in your body that you feel, jump in that water. It's saying, we can't jump on it. You could do it. Because the moment that you jump over that cliff and you feel the wind in your hair as you're going down, and then your body just jumps in this warm water, crystal blue water, and you look up and come out the water, it's a beautiful waterfall. It's mangoes in the trees, birds are chirping, and all your people around you just laughing and joking. Guess what you're going to do? Go back up that mountain and jump again, because it felt so good to not jump, but to overcome fear. You become empowered when you overcome fear. When you walk past it, when you run, when you feel it and you go, no, we're pushing forward. We are no longer allowing fear to stop us. We are going to rebrand it. We're going to rename it. We're going to change it in our minds. So when it rises up, we don't say, oh, stop it. We say, I see you. I see you. And use it. Use it to push forward. Use it to push forward. Bravery isn't the absence of fear. So when you see people being brave, don't be like, oh, they can just do anything. Yes, you can do it too. Know that bravery is looking over the cliff, feeling the feeling of I cannot do it, and still jumping into it because you know what's on the other side of it. That's bravery. Writing the book when you know that you've lived this book a million times over and over and over again. And fear is saying, I'm still not equipped. Write the book. You have a word, wisdom in your heart, and you want to share it with the world. Do the podcast. You have knowledge in business, in anything. You have knowledge in this, and you want to create a course. Create the course. You're thinking of all the reasons why you can't do it, and that's fear. Think of all the reasons why it's going to work when you do it. Start small. You literally made a whole video, put it in your hard drive, and it's just sitting there. Post it. Post the post. Do it for you. Or even if you're in a meeting and you find yourself you're in this meeting and your boss is there and they're asking, hey, does anyone have any ideas that can take this company to the next level? And you're full of ideas and your other coworkers are saying their ideas, but because you're in fear that yours isn't good enough, you hold it all in and you say yes to everybody else's, and you watch an opportunity go away that was yours. Let me change that. An opportunity that could have been yours is now someone else's. Because you didn't open up, because fear stopped you from opening up. But your ideas are great. Your ideas are grand, and they deserve to be spoken. Okay? So let's stop fear in its tracks and turn it into a superpower. And a lot of people may not agree with that. But you know me. Find a way to not let fear overcome you. Turn it into a superpower. My son now looks at fear, and when it happens, he'll breathe. He'll shake it, because fear literally is what happens in your body is the same thing that happens when you get excited. Scientifically, that's what happens. Your heart starts beating. You start getting a little sweaty. You know, when you see something you really like, you're like, oh my God. It's the same feeling of, oh my gosh. So change it. Your body feels the same. Your mind just understands the thought that you say. So would you rather, I do not want to jump off this cliff, I'm going to break my neck? Or should you say, I'm about to jump because this is about to be one of the best experiences of my life. I'm going to remember this forever. You know what I'm saying? So let's stare fear in the face. Let's write the book. Let's put out the song. Let's put out the course. Let us start doing the things that we are afraid to do. And it's because sometimes we procrastinate and we feel like we researched all this stuff and still won't put it out when we're equipped, when we're ready. You can't research anymore. Put it out. You know it. Trust yourself. You know it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. This season is full of technology. There is a world full of opportunities. And I said this before, waiting on you. Choose today to step over fear and jump past it, swim past it, fly through it, and sometimes you might even have to sit in it and feel it for a second, but don't let it stop you. Okay? Be brave enough to take chances. Everything has a risk, especially when it comes to your dreams and goals. It's going to be some stuff that you got to push past, but don't give up, okay? Find your lane and find your place to thrive. And do not let fear overcome you and stop you from living your best life. So I have a few affirmations that can help you kind of get over this fear thing. When you're meditating or when you're taking a moment to yourself, just recite these. And if you can get to a comfortable position, take a few deep breaths. And really center yourself and center your thoughts around the fact that we will not allow fear to stop us. And as simple as that sounds, when fear pops up, it's not that simple. It literally takes your breath away. So focusing on your breath is important in that. Fear will not take you out if you don't allow it. Just breathe and recite these with me. Fear is my superpower activating within me. Fear is my superpower activating within me. My struggles are opportunities to grow. My struggles are opportunities to grow. I am brave enough to take chances. I am brave enough to take chances. I will not allow fear to stop me from living life. I will not allow fear to stop me from living life. Facing my fears only empowers me. Facing my fears only empowers me. On the other side of fear is promise. On the other side of fear is promise. Say those to yourself often. Write them down. Put them on your mirror if you've been dealing with the fear factor of life. And I hope something today helped you. Please subscribe to the channel and also subscribe to our podcast and audio podcast as well. And let's push past fear. And let's look at it as a superpower activating to get us to do what we need to do to thrive. Okay? So I hope something helped you today. Please leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and I love that y'all tuned in and spent some time with me. So have a great day, great night wherever you are, and peace.